All right, Smirnoff, official vodka of the NFL, world's #1 vodka. Chris Cody, you're with me here.
Smirnoff!
Wow, you're on the money with Smirnoff.
Smirnoff!
I'm going to ask you, Chris, what's your favorite game day food?
Smirnoff!
That's your favorite game day drink. What's your favorite game day food?
Smirnoff!
All right, here's the deal. Game day is everything. The noise, the rituals, the passion, the dip, the wings, the dip again.
Smirnoff!
Smirnoff belongs in that mix because if you're tailgating or hosting or just sitting there checking your fantasy lineup every 30 seconds, you need
Smirnoff!
Otherwise, it's not a real game day. They've been doing it since 1864, which is, I don't even want to do the math. It's a long time. It's like when Greg Cody was born. They're award-winning. They make cocktails super easy, and they're all about bringing fans together. So yeah, we do game days. That's their thing. And if you're over 21, you should too. Why, Chris?
Smirnoff!
Grab a bottle of
Smirnoff!
at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day.
Smirnoff!
Please drink responsibly.
Smirnoff!
Number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume, the
Smirnoff!
Company. New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Smirnoff!
Okay, wait, if we got 45 seconds, I'm telling this story. So yesterday, the city of Miami commissioner got indicted. His name is Alex Díaz de la Portilla for bribery and corruption.
You posted about that.
Oh. And that's a man who 25 years ago screamed racial slurs at me in a drunken tirade. He called me a arrow thrower, an Indian, I guess because I'm a Nicaraguan and he was born, he's a
and now he's
white
going to
Cuban.
jail?
He's going to jail and I'm in national TV talking about you.
That's how it started in September of 2023, and 14 months later, this is how it went.
Breaking news, charges have been dropped against former Miami Commissioner Alex Díaz de la Portilla.
Former Miami Commissioner Alex Díaz de la Portilla was facing charges connected to alleged bribery and money laundering, but all of those charges have been dropped. Prosecutors concluded there was no reasonable likelihood of conviction in this case. Díaz de la Portilla was arrested in September of last year.
He was accused of accepting money from the owners of a private school in Edgewater.
$245,000 in exchange for voting to approve the construction of a local sports facility.
Happy Halloween, because Miamians. This year, I got a trick instead of a treat because Alex DLP, Díaz La Portilla, or Degenerate Lying Prick, was supposed to be on this show last week and then again this week, and he is a no-show.
That's great, Billy. Good job closing the deal on that.
There he is sitting next to Roy, as you can see with his headphones on. Díaz La Portilla was arrested for bribery and money laundering and corruption and campaign finance crimes and then exonerated by the same state attorney that arrested him. We covered it on this show repeatedly. And he is now running for mayor of the city of Miami in this clown car of a race that is going on right now as we speak. Early voting is already underway, and he was going to come on the show and take the tough questions. And he was going to. He was never going to. What am I talking about?
I'm glad you finally realized that.
Never going to happen. Yeah, well, because you didn't introduce me to Polymarket in time for me to see how low the odds were on him showing up. Could have consulted with DraftKings to find out that this was a losing bet for me all the way. What's amazing, though, Roy, is that we actually have had 3 of the top contenders in this 13-candidate mayoral race on the show. We had, of course, Emilio Gonzalez. We had Miami-Dade County Commissioner Eileen Higgins, and we had former City of Miami Commissioner Ken Russell. And of them, the only person who I think is polling to potentially make the runoff is Joe Carollo. So now, to be fair, Díaz La Portilla is not going to break double digits, I think. So I think he's in a race for, I don't know, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place, probably. But it was going to be interesting to talk with him. And because he is quite the character, as you can discern from the beginning of this program. I'm a little frustrated about this, although it was entirely predictable. Speaking of Joe Carollo.
He's a wife.
He's a wife. Oh, wow. I was going to make a joke that it was right on the tip of my tongue. It was right on the tip of my tongue.
You have a governor somehow.
What I have is very small.
And fortunately, it didn't escape my lips. But the headline this week is, no, Donald Trump hasn't endorsed Joe Carollo for mayor of Miami. He sent out a flyer, a mailer, entirely in Spanish, which is unusual because Donald Trump signed on March 1st of this year an executive order declaring English the official language of the United States. But this flyer shows a litany of pictures of Joe, some with his wife Marjorie, and, well, then not even candidate Donald Trump, because this was all back from Joe Carollo's days as he was the city manager in Doral for about 15 months before he got fired for trying to hijack the entire city from the mayor and the government who hired him. Again, it was kind of what did that mayor expect? Kind of what did I expect inviting
a coup
DLP onto the program? I should have expected
a coup.
Oh, I expected nothing. And clearly, Doral should have expected a coup. He's got this flyer. It says, more than 25 years with President Trump defending our Republican principles and values. He's really pandering to his base. A lot of these guys, Díaz de la Portilla, Carollo, and Emilio Gonzalez, are running what appears to be a Republican primary and really cannibalizing the conservative vote here in the city of Miami. So it's an interesting tactic. But I will say that the New Times, their reporter Alex Díaz spoke with someone at the White House who said that despite the fact that these mailers look like an endorsement of some sort from the president of Joe Carollo, it is absolutely not the case. He is not endorsed or engaged in this race, is what the White House spokesperson said in an email. But he sent these misleading flyers, of course, to Republican supervoters all over the city of Miami. So, Roy, what is the state of the Miami mayor's race? Because as you know, is on his way out. He's been term limited. He tried to steal an extra year and hold on to power without the people voting on it, and he was unsuccessful thanks to Emilio Gonzalez's lawsuit. But what do you do? Because there are 13 candidates running for Miami mayor, and 40% of voters are undecided.
What's the maximum amount of the percentage that you have to win?
So that's the thing. By the way, the 40% of voters that are undecided, understandably so. Esto es un arroz con mango.
It's too many people. It's like a Cheesecake Factory menu.
Early voting is already underway, so it's time to make a tough decision. And to your point, Roy, it's most likely that no candidate will get the majority of the votes required to win outright on November 4th. And so the top two will face off in a December runoff election that will ultimately decide the mayor's race. So you got to vote now, and you got to vote again in December if you want to help pick the next mayor of Miami. But who the hell do you vote for? Right now, we're really just choosing the two people that will wind up in the runoff. And if you want what's best for Miami in this race, these are the candidates that you should hope make it through. And that is Emilio Gonzalez and Ken Russell. Now, what are the odds of that happening? Probably not great. So to be clear, I'm not picking winners here. I'm just saying if you want the best choice out of these 13 candidates, we didn't get to pick the candidates. We now have to pick from the candidates, from the talent pool here, shallow though it may be. And this choice in December is what's probably best for the city of Miami. Now, I've talked shit about both of these guys, but again, we're picking from the crop that we have. I will say that both of them have city hall experience, and both of them have fought the corruption that has plagued this city. They testified in that corruption trial, the civil corruption trial against Joe Carollo. And that was the case, of course, that resulted in a $63.5 million judgment against Joe for weaponizing city government against business owners in Little Havana. Another thing we've talked about a lot. I also should say that these local races in Florida are nonpartisan, which means there's no R or D beside the candidates' names. But unfortunately, they're often hijacked by party politics irregardless. And I know some people will never vote for a Democrat and some will never vote for a Republican. And as a proud NPA, I think that's unproductive. But the upside here in this race is there's something for everyone. If you lean Dem, Ken Russell is unfortunately your best choice in this race. If you care about the environment and affordable housing and climate change, he is certainly more legitimate than Eileen Higgins, who you saw come on this program
and lie
and be less than ingenuous, I would say.
Okay, there you go.
I would say
it's much better.
I would
much
say
better than me saying lie.
I would say. And with Eileen Higgins, you'd be trading overt corruption for covert corruption. She is a wolf in sheep's clothing. If you follow the money, you can predict her votes and how she will act. Ken Russell is, believe it or not, a little bit more of a good faith actor. Eileen Higgins will sell you out with a smile. And if you lean Republican, then Emilio Gonzalez is certainly your guy. He has tried to out-MAGA everybody else in this race, touting endorsements from Ron DeSantis.
Oh, that's BS. No, totally BS.
From U.S. Senator Rick Scott and from that Canadian, what's his name? Ted Cruz.
Yes.
Is it Canuck or Canuck?
It's Canuck. Wait, what are you, Rose? It's not the Vancouver Canucks. No, it's the Vancouver Canucks.
So that Canuck, Ted Cruz.
Yes.
Canuck cowboy from Texas.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz. So Emilio Gonzalez certainly has his conservative bona fides or Republican bona fides established. So setting aside partisan politics, if you want what's best for Miami, those are the two candidates you should want in the runoff. And if you want to know who to vote for in December, well, we'll burn that bridge when we get there. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Tony from the Dan Le Batard Show, and I got to tell you something that makes me feel a lot safer with my wife and kid at home. It's Simply Safe. Most security systems only react after a break-in, and that's too late if you want to be honest. Real security stops crime before it even starts. I just watched a video that was absolutely terrifying. An arsonist trying to light a family home on fire. And you know what? Simply Safe stopped it before anybody got hurt. Their AI-powered camera spotted the threat, alerted the monitoring agent, and the intruder got confronted while still outside the house. That's what I call real security. Pre-security, not post-security. I trust Simply Safe with my home, my family, and everything I care about. No hidden fees, no long-term contracts. And they've been named one of the best home security systems by US News for 5 years running. Right now, Le Batard Show listeners can get 50% off a Simply Safe system at simplysafe.com/DLB. That's simplysafe.com/DLB. Try it risk-free with their 60-day money-back guarantee and see why I trust them so much. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Oh, the football season. Cruel beast. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it rips away, sometimes you got good times, sometimes you got bad times. But one thing that'll always lift your spirit is making it Miller time. Because game day just hits different with Miller Lite in your hand. 50 years of great taste, simple ingredients, and that iconic golden color that you can spot from across the room. It's a real eye catcher, folks. And here's the kicker. Just 96 calories. 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 5 decades later. So, whatever your game day looks like, remember Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
You ever try to name all your financial accounts and what they're actually worth, like your 401k, your investments, your house? Yeah, I couldn't either. Most of us can't. And when you don't know, you're basically leaving money on the table. Feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year with code Dan at monarch.com. I started using Monarch and I found an old 401k from an old job that I totally forgot about, and it was worth way more than I thought. I also realized I wasn't saving as much as I imagined. Monarch shows you everything, your spending, your investments, even how much cash is just sitting there doing nothing. No spreadsheets, no chaos, just a clear view of your money. You can share with your partner too, which means fewer fights about who spent what at Target and how much the baby actually needs. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code Dan at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code Dan.
Mike Ryan here. Want to talk to you about the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show, Game Time. That's right. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use. I use it often, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. They're not tricking you, folks. Zone deals, favorites, panoramic seat views, the low price guarantee, their unparalleled ticket coverage, which means your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. I can go on and on. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
In what way does Mamdani remind you of a young Fidel Castro?
You know, communism, socialism, it's the easiest sell in politics. You just tell people that are down on their luck, listen, I have the answer. Yeah. I'm going to use government to take more from these people and just give it to you. And who wouldn't vote for that? I mean, if you're down on your luck, that sounds like a great deal. And the only problem is it never works. It never has worked, and it's never going to work. And that was the exact same promise that a young, charismatic, sort of leader made in Cuba in the 1960s. And he did effectuate equality. He effectuated equality of misery, equality of repression, equality of poverty.
I don't even know where to begin with this.
Underhanded man-child fail, son.
So this is outgoing Miami Mayor Francis Suarez reacting to the Poly Market report that in the New York mayor's race, Zohran Mamdani has like a 95% chance, 95% odds of winning this race. I don't know a lot about Mamdani. I don't follow the New York mayor's race that carefully because if it's not entirely clear.
Hashtag because Miami.
I don't live in New York. I live in Miami. I know that New York mayor's races tend to make more national news, but nonetheless, this is just crazy talk. First of all, the interchangeable way in which he uses terminology like communism and socialism as if they're exactly the same thing. There are certainly similarities, but they are not the same ideology, number one. Number two, the idea that
this is called righteous anger.
Is it righteous? Or is it I mean...
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Or maybe it's just anger.
This idea that he's like Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro was a tyrant, a dictator, an authoritarian. He was a left-wing dictator. Before him, Cuba had a right-wing dictator in Batista. What he's describing is one dictator being better than another dictator. How about no dictators? Or how about, in the words of our founding fathers, no kings? I don't even know that he understands what he's talking about. He's obviously just trying to get some hits on Fox News. But look at the way these guys operate down here in Miami right now. It's all socialism in Miami-Dade. I mean, we have these Robert King High Towers, which is a 300-plus unit public housing for the elderly, where all of these guys go to campaign because they're super voters, these elderly voters. First and foremost, it's public housing. You know what that is? Socialism.
Socialism.
They're all getting food stamps. You know what that is, Roy? Socialism.
Socialism.
They're all, I got Obamacare, Medicare, Medicaid. You know what that is?
Socialism.
Socialism. They're all on Social Security. You know what that is?
That would be socialism.
Socialism. And these guys, like Francis Suarez, they'll go and they'll get gift cards for groceries or go buy food and things for some of these folks and with our money, with taxpayer money, public dollars, and then go and give them that. You know what that is, Roy?
I believe that's socialism.
Socialism. And then I got to hear from these people that Mamdani is a communist and a socialist all at once.
At the same time.
Yeah, I got to hear from some of these same folks that I'm looking for the cart, dude.
Yeah,
this is always what happens.
Yeah, you got glasses on.
Certainly. There you go. Yeah, I will say I do vote against my own best interest, which is to say I vote to raise my taxes so that I can help people who need help in this country have an opportunity to live the American dream and to create opportunity for themselves and their families. And certainly, I think a society should be a civilized society. The richest country in the history of the world should be judged on how we treat our most vulnerable and infirm, our children, our elderly, our sick. And
how long have you been living here?
I know. It's pretty twisted. I don't believe that that's socialism. I believe that that is capitalism creating opportunity. That is people paying their fair share to contribute to a society that has created these opportunities for us to succeed.
Oh, Bernie.
That's what I think. No, he's a democratic socialist, which to be fair, Mamdani says that he is not a communist. He's a democratic socialist. I'm not a democratic socialist. That is not my ideology. But the hypocrisy of someone of Miami Mamdani, okay, that is Francis Suarez. Francis Suarez is Miami Mamdani. Not a bad name for the episode, by the way.
Write that.
Write that. Ponzi Postalita, Miami Mamdani. I'm really loving the cutaways to our guest. I should interview our guest. Anyone listening is really not going to get the benefit of this sight gag here. We do these radio sight gags that we do on the program. But I just find the hypocrisy really telling and really frustrating. Roy is now moving the mic over to what is a plastic Halloween decorative skeleton with cans on, with headphones on his head. And something tells me that he is more sober and engaging than DLP would have been. There we go. That was a wait. Who laughed? Roy, was that the skeleton?
Hocus pocus.
So
I
had that one. I had that one locked and loaded.
Mr. Mayor, you're brilliant. You were super smart.
So, speaking of socialism in Miami, a lot of Miami Cuban Trump supporters are super scared, bro.
At Little Havana's Domino Park, fear among those we spoke with about the possibility that in just days, those who benefit from SNAP, a federal assistance program, might not get the benefits in November because of the government shutdown. Enrique Gonzalez, who's 79 years old, says he benefits from SNAP. $128 a month helps him a lot. He'll be greatly affected, he says, asking the president for help, reminding us Mr. Trump likely won the presidency because of Cubans here in South Florida.
The senior citizens are almost going to starve.
Almost 3 million Floridians could suddenly be without vital food assistance. This number includes over 1 million children, over 700,000 seniors, and over 250,000 Floridians with disabilities.
So I think it's important to note, Roy, that Miami-Dade has the nation's highest share of elderly food assistance beneficiaries. Of the more than 215,000 households in the county, 3 out of 5 have one or more elderly member over 60. This is according to Miami Herald's analysis of data from the U.S. Agriculture Department. And as you heard, nearly 3 million Floridians may lose access to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps, as soon as tomorrow. So we're just minutes away here from a lot of people going hungry. You have a lot of, you have the local Catholic charities. A lot of the food banks are working overtime. These are folks who already serve upwards of 600 seniors every month. And of those, I think, 40, 50, 60% of them already receive SNAP benefits. So to hear people talking about the possibility of going starving in, again, the richest country in the world, where we are spending $350 million, the price of like the Staples Center, is okay, to build the Epstein Ballroom, while a very serious conversation about Americans
it's crypto.com arena
going starving Is it really? It'll always be.
Yeah, they changed.
It'll always be Staples Center.
Yes,
it'll always be Joe Robbie to me. It'll always be FTX Arena to me. Speaking of which, are you going to Francis Suarez's American Business Forum next week?
Next week? No.
Why not? It's right across the street, dude, to the FTX Arena.
Because I don't want to.
You're going to have the Argentinian president. Milei is going to be there. You're going to have Lionel Messi.
Argentinian steakhouse.
Donald Trump, Rafael Nadal. You're going to have Jamie Dimon. You have who else? It's quite.
Rafa Nadal's going to be there?
Yeah. Huh. Oh, now have I sold you a ticket? I think you can get some Diamond tickets for $10,000. This is not an event for Miamians. This is like some late stage capitalism kind of oligarch festival or something. Like OF. It's OF. It's the Oligarch Festival. Now, for everybody else in Miami, that's OnlyFans, because we are also, Roy, entrepreneurial and capitalist as we are the OnlyFans capital of the United States of America as well.
And Bang Brothers.
Which could also be why we're the Snap capital of the Bang Brothers. Can we get BBC? Bang Brothers Center?
They tried. Yes,
they offered like $10 million, I think. Didn't they?
Yeah, and they didn't take it.
They did not. The county did not take it. The BBC. I just like saying that over and over again.
I'm sure the Brits love that.
Brothers Center. Roy, you're not going to believe this.
What's that, Billy?
Turns out Miami has some waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah, be kidding me.
Florida Doge came to town.
If this was a business, the city of Miami would go bankrupt.
Florida's chief financial officer says the city of Miami is burning through tax dollars. Blaise Ngoglia says the city's general fund skyrocketed past what it should be, even with taking population growth and inflation into account.
The city of Miami blew past that number by $94 million.
Ngoglia says his mission is to root out wasteful spending in local governments across the state as part of an effort for property tax reform, floating the idea of eliminating them altogether. And the city of Miami is the latest target, with its general fund increasing more than $358 million since fiscal year 2019.
Government is taking your money and squandering it.
Ngoglia says he's done similar audits in 8 local governments, uncovering more than $1.1 billion in wasteful spending this year alone.
This feels like the meme with Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man. These are not exactly, Blaise Ngoglia is not exactly a good faith.
Hell of a name, man.
It's also my drag name, Blaise and Broglia, or whatever.
It's Yankee West.
Ngoglia is how you pronounce it. Angola. This guy has been going on this Florida Doge tour. The problem is he's talking about saving, when he says that Miami has overspent by $94 million and that Miami's budget growth is not consistent with inflation and cost of living and all this. Okay. But he didn't actually point to any particular line items. I could be more specific about it. The guy is using a formula that I don't know applies to the city of Miami as it would to a more rural community. And not to mention that this is all a scheme so that the governor, Ron DeSantis, can introduce legislation next year in the legislative session to get rid of property taxes, which on its face sounds really compelling. And then when you think about where do our taxes go, it's a little frightening because they go to first responders, fire, police. They go to public hospitals. They go to transit. They go to making the lights go red and green. They go to schools. They go to trash. They go to all of the essential services that impact all of us every second of every minute of every hour of every day. And eliminating those would, just be an absolute, not even a cannon blast, but a nuclear explosion in the budget of these municipalities. Have they all been responsible? No. Has the city of Miami been responsible? Obviously not. I talk about that all the time. But it's hard when you have a state government who themselves, their budget has grown from $92 billion fiscal year 2020 to 2021 to $117 billion in fiscal year 25-26, a $25 billion increase. And they're talking about what kind of amounts to like rounding errors in some of these municipalities. And yes, there is waste, there is fraud, there is abuse. But when you don't have responsible, good faith actors who are legitimately examining it and not coming to the table with their own baggage and their own hypocrisy and their own agenda, it's really, really hard. And that's kind of the challenge of this moment, too, in this world, is that, like, you have to immediately question why people are saying and doing what they're saying and doing, even when you agree with it, even when it sounds like a good idea or it seems to be well-meaning. You have to be quintuply skeptical than ever before. Roy, you look like you have something to say, or maybe it's our guest would like to contribute something. Thank you. So certainly said more than DLP.
Yeah.
Degenerate loser prick? Is that what we...
No.
Degenerate lying?
No, you wanted
prick?
me to change the title.
He'll be a loser after this election.
We have to worry about potential defamation lawsuits.
From the word loser? I don't think loser is defamatory. I'm not saying it's factual, but you have to look at his record. What he did win was an exoneration from the Broward County State Attorney's Office, and I wanted to congratulate him for that and talk about how he was railroaded on that. But DLP, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I cannot sanction your buffoonery.
Oh, there you go.
So we're thinking about our friends in Jamaica and all throughout the Caribbean today. And for this Miami moment, we're going to share a friend of the show, John Morales, the meteorologist for Miami's NBC6. At the moment he was live on television and found out about the storm being upgraded not only to a Category 5, but the absolutely petrifying pressure of the storm being updated in real time. And those of us who have experienced hurricanes of this magnitude, like the Category 5 Hurricane Andrew, that fortunately I say, was a fast-moving storm, whereas this one has just been stewing in the Caribbean, the eye directly over Jamaica. And I hope everybody is well and has survived the storm, and that we will have a Jamaica to visit once again. Cocaines.
So I've gone for about 10 minutes here, and
180 now.
180. What's the pressure?
Pressure, and this is Air Force flying into that.
Yeah, this is Adam Berg. He's giving me this
pressure
information.
Is now down to 896.
Oh, my Jesus Christ. Okay.
Mike Ryan here. Want to talk to you about the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show, Game Time. That's right. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use. I use it often, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. They're not tricking you, folks. Zone deals, favorites, panoramic seat views, the low price guarantee, their unparalleled ticket coverage, which means your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. I can go on and on. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.